Okay, so here we are standing in the front of the house. Just want to show you where the garden is in relation. So if you look out in front of us here, that's the garden over there. So there's a flag. I guess there's a flag right there. That's the corner fence over here. And that tree back there is on the corner of one of the fields. So it's pretty close. It's probably, actually it's 300 feet away from that spigot over there by the stock tank, which is the closest water. So I'm initially going to have to run 3 hoses, 100-foot hoses, over there to get water over there, but we'll trench it in eventually. Get water over there. Let's take a closer look. Okay, now I'm up at the upper gate here. You can see the garden is right here. So the fence goes from that stake over to that stake, which is 148 feet. And then it goes straight back ,148 feet. So I've got a 148-foot square, which is like 22,000 square foot, and it's squared up. Diagonals match up. So I did it that way because the fencing comes in 100-foot rolls, and that'll give me just under 600 feet, so I can get 6 bales instead of 7. But I think it's pretty good size. Let's go take a look, and I'll show you where everything's going to be. There's trouble right there. Scout, Scout, are you trouble? Okay, so here we are. It might be a little windy out here today. What we're planning on doing is starting our gardens, at least till up some of the soil. And there we have the DR pull behind rototiller with all the features on it. So hopefully we'll make fast work of it.
We're out here in our new garden plots. We plotted them out the other day. So this one, the stakes are down on it, but you can see the white lines. We had to mark them. The utility company had to come out and let us know if there were any lines underneath here. The fella showed up this morning, and it looks like we're good to go. We've got a phone cable on that side of the property that goes down to the street, but we seem to be okay up here. So Mike's working on the very first plot. He's taken his four-wheeler and attached his handy dandy, I don't even know what it's called.
Pull behind tiller.
Let's go behind tiller.
Pull behind.
Pull behind.
So we set it for a couple of inches deep on the first pass to knock the hills off and to kind of break it up. Now I'll go a little deeper, and hopefully by the time we're done we'll be about 6-7 inches into the soil and have it nicely tilled up. Then we'll let all this grass die out for a couple of weeks and put some fertilizer on it and till that in, and then I'll till up some rows, I can put a different attachment on this that'll spin rows. So we'll have hills down every 30 inches, and then we'll be ready to plant.
And while he's been doing that, I've been testing the soil. So that this little pH kit, which seems to work better than the metal prong kit that you could see at the garden store. This you can get at the garden store as well. It's very inexpensive. It has a little capsule. Anyway, I've been testing the soil. You've got to go about 3 to 4 inches for a garden. And it looks like not only the soil, if you just drop down and see, is beautiful. Just a really beautiful, moist
As Scout can attest.
soil. We should put our pigsty here. But it also has almost perfect pH for us. So it runs between 6.5 and 7. It's probably at, like, I would estimate maybe a 6.5, which is perfect for everything that we're going to grow with the exception of our blueberries. And we'll put our blueberries in pots so that we can manage that acidic level as needed. So it's pretty good news.
Okay, so a little more about this thing. It's set up with it's got an electric start on it. So it's also got a spreader attachment so I can fill that with my lime or seeds or whatever. It'll spread them for me, or fertilizer. It also has the depth control on it. So if I want to raise this up to pull behind, right now it's set, 4 inches deep or whatever it is for chopping up. When I want to transport, I just raise it up. So now it's up and out of the way. Now this thing in the back is my little tamper thing, which I can drop this down into the next thing down, lower it, and then drop that down, and then when I raise it up, it'll put all the weight on these things, so it'll really kind of tampen the ground. And if you've got seeds that are like barley that's just spread all over, it'll make it tamp it in and have it better contact with the soil to improve germination. So there we go. That's how we're all set up. Much easier than walking behind, that's for sure. Okay, back again. To orientate you, here is this corner, the northeast corner. There's the house. I plan on having the gate come in right about here, and then straight off to the right here in this corner we're going to have our composting bin, which will be like a 3 bins, so we'll have the fresh stuff, and then as it gets turned up we'll move it to another, and then the final one will be the finished compost. So we'll have that in this corner. Got a lot of room along this side for some trees or whatever we decide to do. This old fence that goes through, we plan on planting our brambleberries, our raspberries and blackberries along this fence. We'll kind of string it up with wire so that they have a place to grow up through. So that's where the raspberries and the blackberries and boysenberries and loganberries and all that stuff will go. There's a tree right here in the center of the garden, which that's the center stake of the exact center of the garden. So there's a nice shade tree right here in the middle of everything. We plan on putting our little potting shed underneath the shade of this tree. So that'll go here. Then I've dug up a couple of large gardens so far with a rototiller. So we'll have this big garden. It slants down a little bit, but not too much. And then this is a flatter garden here. It's a little smaller, but it also gets a little shade in the sun, in the mornings. So those are the two main gardens. You can see the fence line is going to be right along there. So I'll have room. Sorry about that. I'll have room along here to turn around and do other things. We could put a pumpkin patch down here on this end. There's the corner of the fencing. Then all along here, and then corner fencing is down by that tree there. And then over here we have room for a third garden, or we're thinking since it gets so much light, maybe a big old greenhouse goes right here. So there's the corner post where that orange flag is. And we have this whole space right here on this side of the tree for another large garden or greenhouse space. I think we'll have plenty of room for our gardens. And on the other side of the fence there's a flat area down there where Christy's talking about putting some trees, maybe some olive trees or something like that. And I also want to get some other trees, so they might work on this both as a windbreak and so they're inside the fence away from the deer. Maybe crabapple trees or apple trees or pear trees or something like that. But this is where we're going to be doing most of the planting for the homestead. So here I am talking about the garden, and I heard the breakfast is ready because Chrissy's over there with her triangle ringing the breakfast bell. Let's go eat, Scout.